So, several months ago, we were invited into this big, huge, multi-billion-dollar recording studio, the kind you see in videos and in movies and stuff, but you never get to go into. And we sat down with Julia Michaels to listen to her music, never before heard music. And it was so cool, especially listening to Issues for the very first time. But to watch Julia watch us listening to her music was kind of a surreal thing. So months later, like what was going through your mind while we were listening to Issues? I mean, what were you thinking? Be honest.
Yeah, no, it's definitely different. I mean, I'm not used to. That was kind of the first time anybody had heard any of my music, including Issues, and it's so terrifying because that's such a personal song for me, and it's a very emotional song, and so. You know, you're letting essentially 6 strangers come into your life and listen to your soul, and you're they're judging you on your emotions, and you don't know how they're gonna handle it. But like, it was awesome.
But we loved it.
Yeah,
and you could see it
so
immediately
nice,
in our faces.
And you can usually tell right off the bat if someone doesn't like it. It's
That was my question. Have you ever played Issues for someone and they look at you and go, "Girl, you are up."
No, but
Really?
I think they think it because I am, so it's totally fine.
But I have to imagine it's like if you were to go in front of a crowd of people and read your journal, read
Yes.
your diary, and be like, okay, now tell me what you think of my journal. That would be so
Right.
scary for most people.
Right. Well, I think also I've kind of, like, in a way gotten used to that because I've written very personal songs with other people, so essentially I've had that. I've had people kind of hear my emotions but never actually know that it was kind of also, me and somebody else.
Have you ever, though, sat there and gone, I really cannot, 1, put this into words, and 2, I really don't want this out there. I don't want them to know this about me.
No. I'm a complete open book. I mean, I talk to anybody about everything, like literally everything. No, I'm very open about lots of things. I'm also a very non-confrontational person, so a lot of the times, everything that I want to say, it just like doesn't come out of my mouth. So I kind of always have things to write about because it's always in there.
Well, one of the great things about, we'll take Issues, for instance, since we're on it, but any of the music you've written for yourself or for the millions of fantastic artists that have been successful through your music, is it so relatable. And it is just, when I hear Issues, for instance, I think of how it applies to me. And that's how we all become fans of true artists like you. Oh, another thing I have to say about Julia, she's a hugger.
Oh, yeah, we love huggers.
No, not a hugger. You like to, you climb people like trees. You really do. You're looking for a tree house up here somewhere.
Oh, yes. I love hugs.
You're very like Robinson, what's it?
Swiss
Family Robinson. Like,
my dad is like super affectionate. So like my whole life, like he just like, he'll hug people. And like, he's that guy that like when you go up to like when you're at a restaurant and the waiter comes up and they're like, what would you like to eat? And he'll like put his hand on their shoulder. He goes, hey, brother, how you doing? Yeah, I will have. And I'm like, Dad, no, you can't do that. And then, like, as I got older, I do the same thing now. And it's just, like, we're just a very affectionate family. So anytime I meet somebody and I, like, really like them, I'm like, hi.
And you just attack.
Yes,
but see,
I do.
But that's the sign of a true artist. I mean, you do it through your words as well. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can hear a Julia Michaels song, and you don't have to be in the room with her, but you feel her with you, and that's.
Oh, thank you.
And I tell you, we had Chester from Linkin Park here a couple weeks ago.
Nugget.
And, okay, here we go. He was talking about doing a writing session with you and your writing partner,
Justin.
Mm-hmm. And he said at one point you were lying down and Justin was petting you like a cat. He was petting you like a cat.
Oh
and you
my
were
God.
purring, and as you purred, music came out.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what are you smoking in these
Sessions.
I mean, he probably thought we were just insane. Like, Justin and I have been writing partners for 3 years now.
Right.
So
you're basically married with each other.
Yeah,
sort of.
yeah. I call him my song husband. Like, we just have this dynamic in the studio. Like, he'll just like put his head on my lap. He's like, will you rub my head? I'll just be like rubbing his head, and I'm like, da 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 da. And he's like, you're a genius.
And then you meow.
And then we'll just like kind of like try and figure everything out. But like we just have this like weird dynamic in the studio that to like the outside world we probably look just like psychotic.
Well, then it's totally fine. But it's really a great lesson for all of us. We all need that partner in life, no matter what we're doing.
Right.
If you're working at the drive-through window or you're working at the insurance agency, to have that work husband or partner, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But and look at the success you've had because of this.
They're amazing. Like Linkin Park, you know, like
sometimes
you're like, because I grew up listening to them, and sometimes you get really nervous to meet people that you look up to because you just never know. And we had just that one session with them. We were there for like 2 hours, and it's like I'm a perfectionist to a fault. Like I take myself very seriously, like a good 90% of the time, and being with them, it's like they take themselves seriously when they need to, but 90% is just them having fun and doing every session and every interview like it's their first one. And it's like, oh, great. You don't have to like put so much pressure on yourself.
It's true.
They've taught me so much.
Chester's just, we didn't want him to leave.
Every single time I see Mike or Chester like on FaceTime or something, I'm like, they have the biggest smiles. Every time I see Mike, like, Mike Shinoda, every single time.
I'm sure he's never heard that. All right, okay, let's go backwards. Just go a little backwards and then come back to today and tomorrow. Hands to Myself, Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Sorry, Justin Bieber. Listening to the story about how that was, how he bought into that song is really interesting. Haley Steinfeld, Love Myself, which is about masturbation.
Yes.
All in My
True
Head.
story,
Fifth Harmony.
guys.
It
True
is.
story.
And of course, Heavy with Linkin Park and Kiara.
Yeah.
Now, okay, it's not. I mean, you could have stopped there just writing these songs and other people performing them. But you, Julia, you decided, well, no. I need to be recording some of these songs.
Yeah.
Talk about why. What's the thinking there?
I think at a certain point, you start to get comfortable with hiding behind people. And then you sort of lose yourself a little bit and you lose your voice. And then one day you just wake up and you're like, I need to do this for myself. You know, I'm a very insecure person, as you probably already can tell.
I'm not seeing that at all.
Okay, good. I hid it well. So I think for a very long time, the insecure side of my brain took over the side that was confident. You know, the part that's like, you're not good enough, always kind of outweighed the confident side. And I think just one day you wake up and you're just like, I have to do this for myself.
Well, two things come to mind. First of all, someone hiding behind Justin Bieber is an interesting concept. But I love Justin. He's extremely talented.
I'm more hiding behind words that I write.
Okay.
You know?
But secondly, I must assume, and tell me if I'm right or wrong, it must have been a terrifying step to take.
Completely.
To get into the microphone and to
Completely.
let the light shine on your face while you're singing your words. Talk about what that felt like, and continues to feel like.
I mean, I've been writing professionally for 7 years, since I was 16. So the nerves when you have been doing that for so long just go away. You know, you find out who you are, you put your 10,000 hours in, and like you just get so comfortable with that part of your life. And going from that to being like in the spotlight, doing interviews and photo shoots and performances, I mean, it's such a different mental, it's such a different part of your brain. I have terrible performance anxiety.
Really?
Like, I can stand on the side of the stage and be like, yeah, I got this. And then go out there and be like, is anyone else's throat really super dry? Like, because I can't breathe. I'm going to pass out. My feet are shaking and my shoes. Anyone else sweating from the tops of their shoulders? Like, I don't understand this.
Will you be like that with us in a few minutes?
Most likely.
Really? Were you like that with Fallon the other night?
Oh, my God. Yes.
Do you ever regret making the leap? Do you ever go, gosh, it would just be so much simpler if I just wrote the songs and mailed them to them?
I mean, I definitely have weak moments where I wake up and I'm like, this is so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't do this. But then I'll like go on Twitter and I'll see all these young fans. I have fans so weird that are like, we love you, and like we love what you say and what you do, and like that stuff is like, oh, I can't stop now. You know, it's like, it's that kind of stuff too. And like, also, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't want to put myself in a position to be vulnerable. You know, like that's what this whole thing is. It's just like allowing people to see me, and that's like I wouldn't do this if I wasn't ready for that, you know.
And then that's how you know that the people who are supporting you are actually supporting you.
Yeah.
Because you were so vulnerable.
Completely.
And I think that that's a lesson that everybody can learn is if you're brave enough to show who you actually are, the people who rise up to meet you are the people you can trust because
Completely.
they see you.
Completely. And I luckily surround myself with the most genuine, beautiful people that I possibly can. I mean, my manager Becca and my guitarist out there Dan, I mean, they're some of the best people I've ever met, and I try to keep the ones that are just authentic and genuine around.
So it's proof, and anything in life could be this way. The people you perform with and who manage you, that's just a part of the journey. The other journey is just learning and traveling
Always
and seeing
learning.
things. The music's just a part of it.
Yes.
But a very major part of it. And speaking of the music, I mean, in this business, and I know we hate to refer to something such as art as a business, but it is.
It is.
There have been people along the way who you feel tried to send you down one path in your music when you knew that was the wrong path and you resisted.
Yes.
And you did it your way.
Yes.
Did you ever give in, or did you always do it your way, the Julia Michaels way?
No, I've always tried to be as true to myself as possible. You know, I don't like being pushed around by anybody. So, you know, I need to do everything at my own time and my own pace. And if I don't, then I feel rushed and pressured and not like myself. So
How does somebody who doesn't like confrontation tell people,
you know
I
what's
don't want to go in
funny?
this direction?
Business, Julia.
We're dealing with,
Not to refer to myself in third person,
we're
but
dealing
like
with several different Julias.
like okay, this sounds ridiculous, but like business me can deal with confrontation. Because I've been doing this for so long that I'm like, no, I won't do that. Okay, that's totally fine. Like I think also when you're in the studio, you learn a lot about doing damage control, and you're like, no, that line's not gonna work. You know, like you have to, like, in order to get the best song, you kind of have to be confrontational. Like personal me, so different.
Yeah, not going to happen.
No,
Yeah.
I don't say like literally, and then it all comes out in my music. I'm like, okay, cool. Like my boyfriend's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, you know, nothing.
You'll find out in 9
I'm fine.
months.
You know, like the I'm fine.
I'm fine.
And then he's like, cool, I'll just wait for your next song.
Exactly. You'll find out 9 months when the album comes out.
It's funny though, because it gets to the point where like friends of mine or like people that I work with, they'll like email me and they're like, hey, I just heard the new song. Are you okay?
That's actually
I'm
a
like,
compliment.
yes, I'm totally fine. I got it out, I'm good.
The business you is like the Beyonce Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
You know, that
I mean, I'm
part of
definitely not that confident. I wish I was, but definitely not.
So, I hate to bring up terms like this, but what's the end game? Like, what is it in this journey you're expecting at the end of the road, or do you want to happen? Like,
You know, I honestly don't. I don't really have an end goal or anything like that. I just want to feel connected to people and them feel connected to me. When I was 13, there was an artist where her music was just so real that I was like, oh, she knows exactly how I feel. I don't know this person at all, but this is exactly what I'm going through. And I want to be that person for that 13-year-old girl, you know? That's
awesome.
what I want, yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's do it. Issues, Julia Michaels.